on the Radio Lounge. It's all about the elephants. Did you know elephants are the largest land animals in the world? Elephants can live to be over 70 years old. Elephants cry, play, have incredible memories. An elephant never forgets, as we've heard. And elephants laugh as well. And like many species of wildlife across the globe, elephants are endangered. There's a new online project that seeks to heighten awareness about the urgency of the elephant's survival, to raise money for various organizations to encourage folks to use their voice and creativity in order to help. It's called the Happy Elephant Contest. Its founder is Mikelle Terson, who joins us live on the line this morning. Hey, Mikelle, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bonnie.
Happy holidays.
You too.
Are you feeling in the spirit at all this year?
I'm getting there.
What was it that brought you and elephants together for this project?
Okay, well, it sounds like a very far-out story, but it is the truth. I think, like many people, I've always had an affinity to elephants. And I've been a yogi for many, many years. I've taught yoga for 27 years now. And once one of my spiritual teachers was giving a lecture, and he said within the lecture, if you're ever in trouble, call on the elephants. And at the time, I didn't know if he meant it literally or if he meant it more metaphorically. And so through the years, whenever I felt I needed grounding or I needed strength or I needed maternal energy, I would just feel elephants. And a couple of years ago, I woke up from a deep sleep. I woke up with a sense of urgency that the elephants were calling us, that they needed help. And it wasn't until I did this project and did more research that I found out there are actually tribes in Africa that telepathically call the elephants for help and they show up. So there is some deep connection between the human psyche and elephants.
And this goes way back, right? I think this is centuries old, this affinity.
Yeah, I mean, they say there's a tribe in Africa called the Samburu, and they say that a seed of a human being is inside each elephant, and that elephants are in the collective that they hold the collective consciousness like the whale or like the dolphin, and they're considered to be as intelligent as dolphin and as primates. And there's some really deep connection between humans and elephants, and I see it when I talk to people about the contest, and we have a happy elephant necklace, and people who come and get the necklace or talk about elephants, there are so many people that love elephants. It's really heartwarming, but elephants are in serious trouble.
Now, how serious is the trouble they're in?
Well, this campaign is focusing on the African elephant, and in the 30s and the 40s, the numbers of elephants in Africa were about 5 million. Now there's 400,000, and they're being poached at a rate, illegally poached at a rate anywhere between 20 and 40,000. So it is quite possible that in the 20s, in just 10 or 12 years, that the African elephant could be extinct.
In 10 or 12 years?
Yeah, it's really sad.
That's unbelievable.
I
and
know.
It's because of poaching for the tusks or what? Yeah.
For the tusks. And, it's interesting, too, because intelligent people have come up to my booth when I'm selling the elephant necklaces, and some people don't realize the elephants get killed. Some people think the tusks just fall off, or you tranquilize them and you cut the tusks off. But no, this huge animal is being killed for tusks. The ivory products go mainly to the Asian markets. They're making toothpicks and cigarette holders and stamps, like when you stamp a document, to have an ivory stamp is considered like having a Rolex. So these unbelievable creatures that are so important for the planet are being killed for like toothpicks.
Mm. And so have you worked with elephants? Have you gotten up close and personal with elephants yourself?
No, this is all just some intuitive calling.
And it began for you, how long ago that you decided to actually sort of take steps to do something about it?
Well, in 2009, I made the necklaces, and then I'm also a poet, and I have a lot of wonderful musical friends, and I just thought it would be so great to get artists together to use their creativity to bring consciousness to the issue. So the contest, the idea for the contest started in the spring.
In the spring, and you decided to come up with this idea. It's a theme, right, that you give everybody that they need to write about. Tell us a little bit more about the Happy Elephant Contest.
Well, the theme is what made the elephant happy, and you can interpret that any way you want. And we have 2 divisions. We have 17 and under and 18 and over. And you can do a short story, a poem, or a song. And if you do a song, we love to get the music, but it's based on the lyrics of the song because it's hard to compare music to a poem, for instance. And we have 2 wonderful judges. We have Malachi McCourt, the actor and the writer, and then we have David Amram, who is a jazz genius, and he worked many years collaborating with Jack Kerouac. So we're very blessed to have some great judges.
And what made them come on board? What was their response when I love that you got Malachi McCourt, who of course is Frank McCourt's brother, and we've interviewed him a bunch of times here. He's so delightful and a writer himself. But what did he say, for instance, when you approached Malachi, what did he say about this?
You know, it's funny because, again, it goes back to a kind of magic about elephants because Malachi loves elephants, and he told me a story when he's in elevators, and there are young kids in elevators. He doesn't want to be boring, and if you know Malachi, he's anything but boring, right?
Yes.
So he's, instead of saying, you know, how old are you, what's your name, he'll go, did you see my elephant? I've lost my elephant. And I'll have a whole conversation with the child about elephants. And he told me recently he was in his building and one of the kids from the other floor called him down on the hallway and said, I saw your elephant. It's about a block away. So Malachi was totally open and on board. And then I asked David Amram, and David is... David's in his 80s. If people don't know who David Amram is, check him out. And he's so positive about everybody owning their creativity and using their creativity to bring joy to their lives and to the lives of other people. He's such an advocate of anybody engaging their creativity. He's so wonderful. And it turns out I asked them both independently, and it turns out they go way back.
Oh, the two of them know each other. That's small world.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you were to put what made the elephant happy, that question to either of them, how they would write, what they would respond with. That would be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they will. And, you know, we have some people that are going to be part of the contest. There's a man named Frank Messina, who's the official poet of the Mets, and he's too professional to enter the contest. He didn't feel comfortable about doing that, but he's going to write a poem for us, and we'll put it on the website. So
wait a minute, he's the official poet of the Mets?
Yes, he was given that title. He's a wonderful poet. He's fantastic. He's a great performer too, and he has always loved baseball, and he writes a lot of poems about baseball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It takes me back to my days when I worked for National Public Radio in Washington, and I was sent on an assignment to go interview. I went to the Harley-Davidson headquarters, which is outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and interviewed the poet laureate for Harley-Davidson.
Oh, that is so fun.
Yeah, I mean, you never know where you're going to find, someone creative like that. A poet for Harley-Davidson. He had published books, and it was all, poetry about Harleys. So you never know. You just never know. And then finding this, too. Now, people can go online and find out more, but let's sort of go over, how people can, enter this contest. What are the steps that people have to take?
It's pretty simple. You go to MikelleDesign.com, and then there's a little button that takes you to the elephant contest, and you pay $5, and $4.70 of that goes directly to the Elephant Fund, and the 30 cents is a PayPal processing fee. And then you enter your submission, and then we'll be posting things along the way, and then the judging, we changed the date because it was getting tight with the holidays, so we now have the deadline as March 15th.
Oh, it was originally January.
January 15th, and now we've changed it to March 15th.
Okay.
And
as you say, it's open to anyone. You have 2 categories, 17 and under, and 18 and over, I guess.
Yeah, and we really want to stress, you don't have to be a poet or a writer. It's just about a fun way to engage your creativity and help elephants. I don't want to discourage people who think, oh, I've got to be professional or I've got to be a poet. For instance, there was a little boy who entered yesterday. He's 3 years old, and his mother asked him, what makes the elephant happy? The elephant's happy. And he said, light, a lot of lights, and trees, lots of trees. And then the mother said, what would make you happy if you were an elephant? And he said, an airplane at my house.
Okay, so a 3-year-old is entering, and it can be, as you say, in any response to that question, though, what made the elephant happy? And what is the Elephant Fund, Mikelle?
Well, we wanted to give money to the different areas of the elephant issues. So there's the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, and they foster orphan elephants that are the result of poaching. And elephants need to be weaned. They need mothering for at least 10 years. So when an elephant is poached and their orphans are left, they die in the wilderness. So the David Sheldrick organization takes them and raises them and then puts them back in the wild. So that's one of our organizations. And then another organization is called the Big Life Foundation, and that's run by Nick Brandt. And Nick Brandt is an incredible photographer. One of the gifts that we're giving, one of the prizes, is his book, On This Earth a Shadow Falls. And he was a director of the Michael Jackson video Earth song in 1995. And he went to Tanzania and just fell in love with Africa. And what's so interesting about his photographer is he doesn't use a telephoto lens. So when you see his photos, he's that close to the animal.
Ooh. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and he became so moved by elephants and by wildlife that he created this foundation that does anti-poaching. So he trains local people, and they have rangers, and it's only been in existence for about a year, but they're doing tremendous work in Tanzania because Kenya has a lot of conservation and anti-poaching, but Tanzania, it was where they were doing a lot of the illegal stuff because Amboseli Park covers both.
Mm-hmm. And are you teaming up with others too in this project, in this endeavor?
Yeah, we're completely open. We just want to help elephants, and we want to bring awareness, and so yes, that I've been so fortunate to meet such wonderful people in trying to figure out a way to do this. There's another organization that we give to, which is called the Elephant Sanctuary, and they're in Tennessee, and they have, I think it's 3,000 acres, and they take retired circus elephants, and they give them back their dignity. They give them their freedom.
In Tennessee?
In Tennessee.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
Some of the other things, and people can also find more information at the happyelephantcontest.com. That's a website people can also access. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
But just some of the fun facts that elephants, and I think that we've all, those of us who have heard or seen anything about them, know that they're social creatures, but I didn't realize how social they really are. I mean, they actually hug one another?
They hug one another. They recognize one another. There's a video on elephants.com, which is the Elephant Sanctuary, and there were two elephants that were brought to the sanctuary independently, and one elephant had been in a circus with the other elephant 25 years earlier, and they see each other and they get overjoyed because they recognize each other. It's amazing. They're also... it's called allo mothering, where they all raise the children. So if one baby elephant is feeling unhappy, they all come over and help. Like it's a really beautiful social network that they have.
And they pay homage to their dead as well?
Yeah, there's when they're passing, let's say they're passing a place where an elephant has died, they'll just stand and pause before they move on.
Unbelievable.
And they're also known to, if there's an elephant skull, they'll just move it with their tusk and kind of give it reverence.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of this, I was thinking about, we mentioned earlier that the history and the homage to the elephant goes way back. And I think the symbolism of the elephant is ancient. I know in India especially, I mean, they regard the elephant, right, as sort of the king of kings of animals, correct?
Yes, and also there's a god called Ganesha. So all
Ganesha, of course. Yes, yeah.
Ganesha is the god of overcoming obstacles and blessing new beginnings.
And so you keep Ganesha with you all the time?
I do. He's my friend. Ganesh is my friend.